Hello everyone! Today on Binky's Gaming Thoughts, in light of the situation where Bethesda is suing Warner Brothers for stealing the code inside Fallout Shelter for Westworld, I wanted to compare the two games side by side. Now, this is not what I typically do on this channel, but I wanted to compare these two games. Both have in-game elements that you can purchase, but both games are free and available on mobile. So right off the bat, starting with the loading screen, there's not that much similarity here. It's a basic loading screen. It looks different because that's the thing, they made it look different. From the start, it looks like a different game. It's when you actually get into the game and you play the game where I actually see more and more that these two games do indeed share the same code. In Fallout Shelter, you gather resources after a certain period of time. The characters are doing things, and then you can get the different resources from them doing that. Same thing in Westworld. You assign a host to a guest, and then after a certain period of time, when the time has elapsed, you can gather your resources. Sometimes you get coins, you get the extra resource, and the people gain XP as well. Eventually that leads to them being able to level up. The character list looks a little bit different, but it has a lot of similarities in and of itself, where they're just alongside and they can be categorized by name, the things that they're good at doing. So that's very similar. When building, the lists of the available rooms to build looks very much alike in both games. Both games have an underground shelter. And then when you build, it shows the places. The only difference I see is that in Fallout Shelter, you can choose where to build and you can expand and rooms kind of merge. Whereas in Westworld, it's not just one block. Some things have predetermined areas. You can move it a space or two, but there's a little less liberty when building. And the area where you will be building is predetermined, whereas in Fallout Shelter, you can expand all the way down. No, as many elevators as you can add, you can expand. You just need to destroy the rocks that are in the way, type thing. Moving on to objectives, little menus, tutorial menus. In Fallout Shelter, you know, they have that skin, they have that style, the Fallout style with the little music. In Westworld, it's similar. It's a bit different. It looks a bit different. There are a lot more automated tasks, whereas in Fallout Shelter, it's accumulated over time. It's not a countdown type task, but you can tell the similarity in the way it's done for the tutorials and the guides and everything else. In Fallout Shelter, you also have the little rush mode to make things go faster. Whereas in Westworld, when you want to rush something, you pay with coins and it automatically skips the countdown and it's complete. In Fallout Shelter, there's a chance that the rush mode fails and it causes an incident. You can also upgrade rooms in Fallout Shelter. Same thing with Westworld. You can upgrade buildings as well. In Westworld, you create new hosts. You kind of genetically engineer all these new hosts. And then as you level up as a player, you can have more hosts in your game. In Fallout Shelter, the way to get new dwellers, sometimes when your reputation is high enough, the percentage, you'll get new dwellers coming in wanting access to your shelter. Another way is you put two people in a room. After a few minutes, they're going to go in a separate bedroom, and then they're going to come back. One of them's going to be pregnant, and after a few hours or a couple of days, you got a baby. And so that's how you add new dwellers also. So it's a little bit different, but the concept is pretty much the same. There are incidents in Fallout Shelter where dwellers can die if they're attacked, if they die in the fire, stuff like that. In Westworld, it's the host who performs poorly who will get killed. That's how you lose people. In Fallout Shelter, you can zoom in, you can check the character specs, characters talk to each other. It has an interesting style, look, and feel to it. In Westworld, you can do something similar. You can zoom into a room, you can see the characters, well, the hosts interacting with the guests and that sort of thing. So it definitely has a different feel to it because it looks different. The music is different, but you can tell while you're playing it that it's pretty much the same thing. Personally, I believe this is the same code. And remember, my husband is a programmer, and it's very possible for it to be the same code. He also knows someone who worked for a company. He had to take them to court because they literally stole his code. So it is something that has happened in the past. It is possible for someone to use the code. So I'm guessing that in court, Bethesda has the code in hand, and the judge will have to compare Bethesda's code with Warner Brothers' code. According to me, it definitely looks like the same code. So anyway, I'm going to let the two games play out a little bit longer in this video, side by side, but this time going without commentary, so you can just have a look at it and see for yourself whether you find that it looks the same or not. Let me know in the comments below if you think it's the same code or not, but I think Bethesda has a strong case personally. Oh, and if you're new here and you just simply happened on this video, if you like Dragon Age and other BioWare games, consider subscribing and checking out some of my other stuff. That's basically what I do. This channel is mostly dedicated to Dragon Age. All right, so I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new here and you like my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. Alternately, you can follow my website, binkyproductions.com, where I post everything from all my channels. Be sure to check out some of my other stuff. You can also join in on the fun on Patreon for some random, sporadic, occasional, exclusive content. Otherwise, just liking and sharing, like it if you like it, for the like it if you like it dance, supports this channel and helps people find it. And your continued viewership is very much appreciated. Masaranas.